Well, I think it's 4 p.m., so it's safe to start. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar on how to future-proof your M365 governance with Workspace Reviews. We are beyond excited to be here with you today and to show you what we have been doing in the past few months. But before we dive into today's topics, here is some important information for everyone. First of all registrants will receive a recording of this session, so you're quite sure to get that at the end. Then please try not to be shy with us. Your thoughts and experiences are really important. Don't hesitate to share your feedback or ask questions using the Q&A function on the right-hand side of your interface. Let us know your questions. Let us know what are your current challenges so we can address them in the future together. And please feel free to share your own experiences related to today's topic. For those of you who are here for the first time, Syskit is a software development company founded 16 years ago. We create innovative, high quality and easy to use governance and management solutions for Microsoft 365 and SharePoint. We are currently trusted by more than 3,800 customers around the world, some of which you can see on the left-hand side. Our flagship product is called Syskit Point, and it is a management and governance platform for Microsoft 365. It helps organizations of any size with their fast-growing environments, especially in highly regulated industries, to get a better control over user access, inventory, and management across multiple workspaces. When I say workspaces, I'm talking about your Microsoft Teams, your Microsoft 365 groups, your users OneDrive, your SharePoint sites, Power Platform, etc. And you can enforce different governance policies around them. It provides you with deep visibility, with easy cleanup and control over your external collaboration, oversharing, and user access. But most importantly, it helps you keep your environment clean and properly governed from the creation to the end of life of all your workspaces. My name is Alexandra. I'm a product design lead here at Syskit, and today I'm joined by Mario, our product manager. Hi, Mario.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everyone.
As I said, we're really happy to be here today. I will start with the kind of an introduction of what is a workspace review, why we think it's an evolution of access governance in M365. I will briefly remind you about our previous feature, and then Mario will do two really great step-by-step demos of the workspace review in Syskit Point. And finally, at the end, we have a dedicated time slot for all the questions and thoughts and discussions that you will actually let us know through the Q&A function on your right-hand side. All right, now that this intro is over, let's start by going a few years back. So let me tell you a story of how it all started with the feature we called Access Review. All right, so a little over 5 years ago, when IT teams were kind of gearing up to this really huge shift of working remotely due to circumstances I'm sure you all remember, oversharing really wasn't something people talked about yet, but we realized the importance of it, and even more so, we understood that IT teams couldn't handle these new challenges alone. So they needed backup, and who better to help them than those who understand their workplace context the best, the workspace owners. That is why in March 2020, we kicked off Permissions Review, the very first version of what we now call Access Review. And that is the screen you're seeing at the moment. So to give you a bit, maybe in-depth timeline of our journey, since 2020, while many solutions were just kind of scratching the surface of sharing and permissions, workspace owners that were using our permissions and then access reviews have taken it much further. So in 2020, we introduced the first version where you were reviewing all membership sharing. In 2022, we updated permissions review to access review and rebranded it. And today we will show you a workspace review, which is an upgrade of access review with a more guided approach, which we will show you in the future in the slides just in a few minutes. Okay, but in total, the number of workspaces that were reviewed with our solution are a little over 186,000. But to be more specific, and I think more importantly, your end users have removed almost 3 million of potentially risky permissions, meaning that they cleaned up hundreds of thousands of dangerous links, and this impact is obviously huge. And it started by empowering those who know their workspace the best. So I will emphasize once again that these are your end users. You will hear me, by the way, calling them business users or workspace owners during the presentation, but it's the same people, and empowering them is really crucial in this process. The biggest challenge in any governance process is that the IT team is trying to manage everything manually, but the first principle of Workspace Review is to change this dynamic, and by empowering your end users, you're helping your government become more efficient, you're strengthening their accountability. And not just that, you're also much faster and more efficient by delegating this process to actually those people who are closest to the work. And let me talk to you about how we got here. So as anything else in Syskit, our work is user focused. So it is guided by user feedback. And for the last year, we have been kind of intensified it in this area. And we've been talking to people and trying to understand what is our next phase in this journey. So what we did sounds simple. We just listened and learned. It started with looking into in-app feedback and looking at the NPS score we got there. Then it was followed by many customer interviews. So we wanted to really get in-depth knowledge about what are your problems, what are you struggling with, what are the challenges, what do you want to tackle, why do you want to do that, how can we help, etc. So these interviews really provided valuable feedback that helped us even begin to redesign this feature and to improve it. So this is when we created first prototypes, and then we did more than a few actually, live moderated usability testing sessions with both admins and end users. And why is that important? Because admins have one set of problems, and users have a completely different set of problems. So we listened and learned to both sides, because it's really important to know what are the pain points of each persona there. We also anticipated that there are actually two different kind of groups within our end user persona, because some of the end users were really how to put it technically, tech savvy. They knew a lot, they understood why they need to do that. They understand all the terminology, like what are the shadow users, what are the anyone or anonymous links. So they really had a much higher level of knowledge than we anticipated. And then the other group is the group that is more common, is the end users that are not sure why they need to do it. They do it because they have to do it, but they're kind of afraid to proceed with actions. They're not quite sure what to do at any given moment. So we also anticipated two different groups, so we needed to tackle that as well. After that, we again iterated, and then got to unmoderated usability testing study to get even more feedback. And then we've actually performed a few follow-ups after iterations to see if we got on the right path there. And finally, we tested in production, which was followed by a questionnaire, and then we also learned a lot of valuable insights almost at the end. So it doesn't ever stop. We will obviously continue to learn, we will continue to monitor it, we will continue to add new stuff to this feature. But in general, what we learned so far is that this kind of attestation is really important. It's a big step towards your securing your environment, but also decluttering it and preventing content sprawl. And all that we learned had led us to the Workspace Review. After getting through a number of very different solutions, ideas, and versions, so I would really like to thank the team for going through it, we got to where we are today, and that is what we believe is a new chapter of governance. Workspace Review is one unified review where you can now certify that everything is configured correctly, it's configured securely, and that just the appropriate people have access. Okay, so what is actually a Workspace Review? It is a key governance feature that is designed to help your organization maintain a secure, compliant, and well-managed Microsoft 365 environment. While the old Access Review focused mainly on user permission and that eternal question, who has access to what, the new Workspace Review goes beyond just checking access. So it's expands scope to include reviewing privacy, reviewing sensitivity, kind of including this broader governance policy that you already set up for your tenants, and introduces a smart, much, I would say smarter, but easier and recommendation-driven tasks. On top of that, we believe it brings significantly improved experience for business users and more flexibility and more powerful insights for administrators. It was built on intelligence, automation, and proactive visibility, which is really crucial and kind of key here to compare to the old manual processes. So here is the overview of what the solution actually looks like for your end users. It is a streamlined and intuitive interface. It provides you with step-by-step guidance. It has real-time updates and, in general, simplified review tasks. So owners are now receiving context-aware and actionable tasks. For example, the task is now to remove all inactive users in your workspace, remove all blocked users, remove expired sharing links, make sure that you have enough owners of on that workspace, just to make governance simpler. And finally, collaborative options. That is something that we learned is quite important because most of the times people are not alone in this. So you have multiple other owners that are reviewing the same workspace. So you need to make sure that you can communicate either on like who is going to do it, or whenever you're unsure about certain permissions, people really do talk to their co-reviewers. That's why we also integrated a Teams chat for easier co-reviewing. So just to repeat, access reviews were tackling the who has access to what problem, where your end users were reviewing membership, they were reviewing sharing. However, admins were missing some flexibility and insights. Workspace Review, on the other hand, offers all that, but in a more streamlined process with more smaller chunks of work. So you have different steps for shadow users, for example, or for reviewing everyone access. With all this additional setup, like checking privacy, checking sensitivity, checking whether your workspace should even exist, should it maybe be archived or deleted, and to keeping in mind all the policies that you already have. So all of that plus more flexibility and insights for your admins. And to kind of remind you of why you even need to do this, I will briefly go through some of the key benefits of having regular workspace reviews. So first one maybe sound obvious, but it actually is true. You are reducing risk. So we are proactively catching any unnecessary or outdated permissions. So the key here is to being proactive instead of waiting for some incidents to happen. Then by automating some repetitive, process as a repetitive process, you are actually focusing on decisions. You are not doing manual audits. And people who are actually doing all this for you are your end users or workspace owners who are there. They're kind of making sure that their workspaces are compliant. So you are building accountability for it. And you're also proving compliance. You can now generate reports that demonstrate security of your security and maturity of your tenant, especially governance maturity. And finally, you are making sure that with this process, you are building a governance foundation, to call it that way, that is ready for Copilot. And that is also really important in this process. Okay, to sum it up, what you are building is a secure, clean, and an environment that has a crafted and carefully selected data that is really, truly AI ready. All right, now let's dive into more specifics. So let's see how Workspace Review is helping admins, how it is helping them with measuring success of their governance efforts, and how it is helping to evaluate their effectiveness. So this is the admin's point of view. As I already mentioned, and I think it's the case in any feature probably, we learned that admins need more flexibility. They need flexibility in terms of both configuration and scheduling options. So you can see now that you have some pre-built templates that will help you start in minutes. Mario will talk a bit more in detail about why these templates, why we chose these exact 3 use cases. But it's important that you can do it fast, or you can create your own, start from scratch, and do some highly specific and custom policy for yourself. You can define what gets reviewed. You can define you can kind of control the process with flexible scheduling. You can do it one-time recurrence for you can do manual on-demand triggering for easy testing, etc. Moreover, you have more insights and reporting to track your progress. You can measure impact of your governance effort, and you can demonstrate ROI. So every action is logged. You can see that removing users, cleaning up links, I don't know, fixing ownership, everything is logged, so you can show a real risk reduction there. And these metrics are visionable, and these reports are actionable, so you can actually showcase your governance success completely. Okay, I think I talked a lot now, so I will give my word to Mario to show you in our first live demo of today, to show you what the admin's perspective actually looks like. Mario, are you ready?
Yeah. Thank you, Alex. Great presentation. Okay. So let's take a look at how Workspace Review works in Syskit Point. So the process is actually very simple and straightforward. First, admins need to configure Workspace Review according to their company's requirements. Then Workspace owners receive their task, they need to complete the review, and finally admins monitor progress. So first, let's take a look and see how admins can create Workspace Review, create and configure it. So under policies, we have added a new Workspace Review policy. So let's select this one. And first, I can choose one of the predefined templates, which are actually built-in templates based on the most common use cases we heard from our customers. So if you want your users to review just membership, so without going to the file level, you can choose membership template. Or if you are interested in reviewing just content shared externally and guest users, we also have template for that. Or if you want to review everything, we have full review template, and you can customize templates per your needs. So for the demo purpose, I will start from scratch. Of course, first I need to enter some name here. I will review members and content. Okay. And here I can choose what to review. So I can ask my owners to review only external users. So just guest users and files, folders shared externally, or I can choose both internal and external access. I will choose both. I mean, definitely it's important to check everything, because internally shared content can also pose the oversharing risk if something is shared across the company and so on. So let's continue. Okay, so now I can configure scheduling options. So each Workspace Review policy has its own start date. So I can choose when the review starts, and I can select a period. I can choose only one time. So this is actually great for testing purposes. When you are starting with Workspace Review, you can choose that and easily test it. And for now, I will select a monthly. We have a lot of options, but I will leave the default. So first Monday every 6 months. Here you can see the exact date when a review will start. You can also enable or disable reminder emails, and you can enable or disable completion emails, which are actually sent when one owner completes the Workspace Review, then other owners are notified. So you can also disable that option. And then next few steps are actually related to the what will be reviewed by your owners. So first, here you can choose if owners will be able to archive or delete the workspace. So if someone doesn't actually need the workspace, he will be able to archive, and by archiving it, actually Workspace Review is completed. Doesn't need to check access on if he doesn't need the workspace. You can also ask users to confirm privacy. So if a team needs to be public or private, this is also something you should ask, because of course public teams and content in public teams could also present oversharing risk, because everyone can join in public teams. And of course, you can ask your owners to apply a sensitivity label on their workspace. The next thing you can do, you can ask owners to review membership. So all owners, members, and guests in your workspace. And here you can also ensure compliance with a minimum number of owners and maximum number of owners policies. So if, for example, workspace doesn't have enough owners, or it has too many owners, the existing owners will need to resolve that policy violation and won't be able to continue before resolving violation. So that's completely integrated into Workspace Review. The next thing you can ask is to review shadow users. So shadow users are users who are actually not part of the group or team memberships, but they have access to some to workspace content, like specific files or folders are shared with those users. Next thing, sharing. So you can ask from your reviewers to check all links shared with everyone. So this could be very risky, because when something is shared with everyone, that means that everyone who has the link can access it, which could be higher risk. And of course, we have links shared across the company. So again, if anyone in the company has a link, he can access to it, which poses a security risk potentially. So it is something you should ask your owners to review. Okay, I enabled everything, and as you could see, everything is customizable. You can enable steps you need. If you don't need something, you don't need to configure that. Yeah, and the last step here is you can define who are the reviewers for specific workspace types. So I won't change that for now. And let's create new workspace review policy. So policy is created, and the next thing I need to do is to apply policies to workspaces I want to be reviewed. I have two options here. I can use our rules engine. So for example, I can apply policy based on some metadata, sensitivity, privacy. But for this demo, I will manually apply policy on a specific, on a few workspaces. So let's choose few workspaces. Okay, I selected few teams and groups. Q&A team, this one is important. I will also select few SharePoint sites. And of course, OneDrive. Okay, I have selected 7 workspaces. And I will apply workspace review policy. So this one newly created. And that's it. Now policy is created. We have configured monthly review, but we don't want to wait to start. So we will go to the govern workspace overview, where I can see newly created workspace review, and I will start that immediately. So this is also great for testing purposes. You can manually start your reviews. Okay, let's start. And now tasks will be sent to workspace owners. But before we go to the end user side, let's move back for a moment to Alex.
Great, Mario. Thank you. I'm really surprised that you didn't do it with rules, which is recommended, but I know it's only for the demo purposes. So before we go back to what I'm sure you're excited about, to the end user's point of view, I just want to give you a really brief introduction of what we did there. So what Mario just showed you is like the admin level control, which is really immensely important, but it enables the second half of the story. And we can even say this partnership enables you to safely delegate responsibility to the people who know their workspaces and their context the best, the workspace owners. So, and delegation obviously only works if the process is intuitive and simple. And so we empowered your end users with a guided experience that eliminate any questions they might have in their heads, to help them turn something that used to be a complex or tedious task into a quick and confident action. So the recommendation-driven tasks, as I already mentioned before, are helping you kind of be more focused in what you want to achieve, and it is making governance simpler in general. The UI is simpler and the actions are quite clear. So the actions have clear results. You are not guessing what will happen. We try to really make it really straightforward. If you do this, that will happen, just to kind of eliminate as much as complexity as possible. And finally, I know I already mentioned this in a way, but if you have these automatic policies and these kind of enforcements with your end users, you are truly reducing your security risk and you are controlling your sprawl. But I believe most importantly today, you are preparing your organization for any AI-driven processes that you have included or are planning to include. So yeah, that's all what I wanted to share with you now. I know we are all excited to see it in action again. So Mario, if you're ready, can you show us what does the end user's perspective look like?
Yes, of course. Okay, great. Okay, so now I'm logged in as Cork, who is not administrator. Cork is workspace owner, and I just received an email from my admin that I need to perform a workspace review on 3 workspaces. So let's do that. Okay, so now I'm redirected to Syskit Point. I see the list of workspaces I need to review. I see some basic info here, when the review is requested, at the due date. Here you can see this great collaboration part, where I can start chat with other owners and discuss with them what needs to be done, who will complete the review. So yeah, let's start. Let's review this product marketing manager's team. Okay, so first I see an overview of that team. So some basic info, last activity, when was the team created, and of course, as you have seen before, I have the actions to archive or delete if I don't need it anymore. And in that case, if I do that, my workspace review would be completed. So I won't do that. So let's go to the next step. So here, I need to review the privacy and sensitivity of my team. So this team is private. I can change it to public, but I don't want, as anyone in the organization would be able to join and see everything. So I don't want, I want it to be private. So let's say this is okay. But this workspace doesn't have a sensitivity label. So I will apply the label. Let's say this team needs to be confidential. And I have applied the label. Label is applied immediately. And okay, I'm satisfied with that. And let's move on to the next step. Okay, so we have heard from our customers that end users, owners, very often they don't know what they need to do when they receive access review task, what they need to do, why they need to do it. So we have added these steps with instructions and guidelines, descriptions, which explain what and why they need to do it. So first, I need to review memberships. So here I can see, okay, I have 6 owners, 2 members, 2 guests. I can filter by a specific role. And here I can also see some recommendations. I have one user who is blocked. I have one guest user, so user outside my company. In each user is inactive. Obviously, no one is working with him. So this is definitely something it could be removed and maintain and make your environment clean. So let's remove those users. Okay, so you can see actions are almost instant. Those users are removed. And now I can see I have one policy violation here. So I have too many owners. As you could see before, we have enabled this policy compliance. I need to have 4 owners and I have 6 of them. So I will select 2 of them and change their role to member. Let's do that. Okay, great. I don't have policy violation anymore. Let's say I'm satisfied with those owners and members. There is no unwanted access. Everything is great. These people can be here and I can move on to the next step.
Sorry, just to briefly jump in. If Mario didn't do this, so if he didn't remove those 2 owners, this step would be blocked. Am I right? So you couldn't actually proceed before resolving that policy.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Alex. Thank you for that. I forgot to say that. Thanks. Okay, the next step is shadow users. So users who are not group members but have access to some files or folders. Here I can see the list of those users, and if I want to see specific files or folders where they have access, I can go deeper and see access. This one is interested because this is external users. So let's see. And we can see this user have access on one document. I don't want that, so I will remove the access. Okay, you can see this action could take a few seconds or minutes. So yeah, now it's fast because it's only one user. But you can see that in removal is in progress. Now it's finished. Great. This external user is not here anymore. And here are also 2 deleted users. So I want to make my environment clean. So I will remove those users. Okay, removal is in progress, but this is the job done in the background and I can continue. Okay, it's also finished. Great. I have 4 shadow users. I know they need to have access, so no unwanted access, and let's continue. The next step is sharing. So here I can see links shared with anyone and shared with company-wide. So I have one link shared with anyone. So this is definitely not good. I don't want anyone with the link can access it. So I will definitely remove that. I mean, this link is expired. You can see also that recommendation here. So when you click on the remove sharing link, you can see that Eva is mentioned here because actually Eva got the link. She knows the link, but if she would send link to someone else, anyone, he or she would be able to open it. Okay, so let's remove that. Great, all clean. I'm good to go. And here I see all links shared with people in my organization. I have one expired link. Again, recommendation to remove it. So I will remove that link. Again, this link was shared to Cork. So let's remove it. And here you can see there are sensitivity labels on those files. So this is definitely something I should check and maybe remove, because those files are confidential, maybe sensitive for my company, and I don't want that anyone in the company access these files. So I will also remove those sharing links. And yeah, we came to the last step. Here I see all the actions performed during the review. So as you could see, we have removed a lot of sharing links, few internal and external users, and we can complete the review. And I confirm that I have reviewed everything. I have reviewed all permissions. There is no unwanted access on this workspace, and this workspace is safe and clean, and everything is great. Okay. So now I have reviewed my workspace. There are two more, but I won't review that now. Instead, I will switch back to the admin side to show you how admins can monitor the progress of workspace reviews. Okay, so let's refresh the screen. So this is newly created review, and let's go to see details. Here we can see information about that review, what has been included in this review. This is the great part. You can see what actions end users performed. You can see removed links, remove access for users, and so on. You can see the completion rate for that review. And of course, you can see the list of all workspaces included in that review, who are the reviewers, the status, who performed review and when, the actions, and so on. So in this view, you can see workspace, only one workspace review. But if you want to track progress through the time, through the year, you can also do that by going to Workspace Review Insights. And here you have this date filter. You can see all your workspaces which have workspace review policy on applied, and you can monitor which have been reviewed, for example, in the last 20 months, which is actually great for if you need to provide report to auditors for compliance reasons. You can see what has been reviewed and what hasn't. We also have special views for that, so you can see all reviews, all workspaces who haven't been reviewed and all who have been reviewed. Again, you see all the actions performed during that period, so last 12 months. And this is actually a great indicator how security and oversharing risk decreases as your owners remove sharing links, remove users, and revoke unnecessary access. So yeah, here you can see for each workspace, yeah, if it is reviewed in the selected period or not, when was the last review, or how many reviews have been completed in the period, and so on. Of course, for the workspaces which haven't been reviewed, you can request a new review. And here, for example, if you have quarterly reviews or monthly reviews, here you can see the history of all your reviews, all completion rates, how many actions have been performed, and everything needed for that. And of course, you can drill deeper into the details. Yeah, so that's it. That's everything for that part. Alex, can we go back to you?
Sure. Thank you, Mario. This was really insightful. And let's go to another interesting topic for our existing customers. Let's talk about transition and adoption for those of you still using Access Reviews. So we actually have made this adoption and testing really easy and simple. You can run the new Workspace Review alongside Access Review before you do a full switch. You can kind of count on us for all the documentation we prepared, for support and education for much smoother rollouts. I can now show you a screenshot of what we have designed. It's an interactive e-learning module that is actually walking your end users through the Workspace Review tasks step by step. It is using simple language, it is using relatable examples, which I think is quite crucial, to not to just kind of show them how to do this, but to show them why this task matter, what can happen if they don't do this, if they don't fix their permissions, their privacy, sensitivity, etc., and what's in it for them in a way, and actually how easy it can be to do it right. So this is something that you can also rely on during this transition. And to be more specific, Access Review will still be available to all our existing customers until beginning of 2027. So you have time for this rollout. On the other hand, all the new customers or the one that haven't been using Access Review will switch fully to the Workspace Review from the beginning. And now something that I know you're interested in. What we saw today is obviously our first version that we just released. What we are currently working on are additional recommendation steps. So on top of what Mario showed you, we're working on more steps, more recommendations, more insights to kind of guide this journey through these 5 main categories for your end users. We're also working on custom reminders and escalations, because we learned during this process that obviously every organization has their own needs when it comes to when to send a reminder, how many of them, how frequently, etc., but also how to escalate this task. So what happens if nobody reviews it? So we are also working on making sure that you can escalate this either to another person or to do some automatic actions if nobody does anything. So you can even go in that direction. It's fully customizable, the number of steps, etc. It will all be up to you. And 2 exciting ones for the future, we are looking into integrating storage reviews so that your end users are also reviewing of what they have on their workspaces in terms of storage, to kind of not help you not hit the red there. And lastly, AI agents review, obviously something that is becoming more and more important in terms of, is my workspace, the one that I'm reviewing now, maybe being used as a knowledge source to an agent that shouldn't have, etc. So that is something to kind of look forward to in the future. And before we move on to the Q&A, I saw that there are quite a few questions. I just wanted to mention that if you like what you saw and you can want to try it out on your own, you can do it in our 21-day free trial, or obviously contact us if you have any questions besides what we talked about today. All right, Mario, are we ready for the Q&A? We have some time. Unfortunately, I see that there are many questions, not unfortunately, but many questions in the pipeline. So we will address a few now, and for the rest of you, if we don't read out your questions, rest assured we will reach out to you separately after the session with a follow-up email to address this concern. All right, so let's see what the first question was. So, okay, this is not chronological. All right. So first one was, how do you identify the sensitivity for any given workspace?
Sensitivity. So actually, I mean, every workspace sensitivity label can be applied on a workspace. So yeah, that is something you can ask your owners to review. I don't know if that was a question or.
I think that we're kind of like pulling it out automatically from the sensitivity label that was applied. If you don't have any sensitivity label, that's even bigger problem. So then your workspace owner will need to input it. But in the case that Mario was showing, he was just checking whether it's the appropriate label there. Okay, hope that we managed to answer the question. All right, so is the permission review, besides sharing part of the policy. I might have missed a step in a demo. I was away for a minute. So is this part of a policy? I think, Mario, that's...
So if the permission review, sorry, I'm not sure if I understood.
Is it a part of a policy? I mean, I
sharing,
think that
yeah. So you can review access down to the file level, so all share files, everything can be reviewed.
Okay. The next one is, do the users need permissions to be able to archive?
I mean, if they are owners of the workspace, they should be able to archive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
also,
just one thing to mention. So if you used Syskit Point before, you know we have inactive workspaces policy where you can configure what users can do with inactive workspaces. So they can archive or delete it. And you can choose the archival options. So if it's archive from MS archive, or it's just setting to read only. So options in Workspace Review are dependent on those in inactive workspace policy. So what you define in inactive workspace policy will be used in Workspace Review. And actually, that's also the situation for other policies. If you define minimum 3 owners policy, then your inside Workspace Review, users will need to add at least 3 owners.
All right. Okay. Next one: when a site or team has too many owners, does it go to all owners?
Yeah, it goes to all owners. Yeah.
I think this maybe arrived before the demo, but all of them are receiving the task, and then if whoever comes in first and remove the excess one is the one who gets to do that. All right. I'm not quite sure I understand this, but what happens if we have 2 users who are disabled but still in the team or site? I don't know if it's whether they are owners and disabled or whether it's just members.
Yeah, if they are just members, they will be shown as blocked, and we will have recommendation. We will show recommendation that they could be actually deleted.
Okay. Is it possible to configure to allow users to proceed when there is a policy violation? So in the kind of in the case which you showed today, the situation was that it is a blocking event. So if you don't resolve it, then you cannot move on. But this is possible to configure it differently.
No, currently not. So if you enable those, if you want to ensure compliance, they won't be able to continue before they resolve it. So they need to resolve it and then they can continue.
Yeah, but thank you for that comment. That is something that we heard before as well. So let's move on to the next one. I think that we answered this one. Are there plans to include the document storage overview so that the site owner sees all big files and decide if the files should be deleted? That's currently a problem with growing storage and reaching tenant limits. So as I told you, we have it on our roadmap. It's in the later phase, but we have it there, and we also agree and have identified that this is a really big problem with a lot of our customers. Will be sharing the recording and sending out the link? Yes, everyone who has registered will get this recording. So that's a technical one. Okay, the next one is, sorry, it's not chronological, so I'm just trying to see which one I already answered and which I haven't. This one we did it. There's some question about start chat button, but I think, Mario, that you already answered that one. So you are talking to your core reviewers. You can do it throughout the entire review. And okay, so this one, we already set up minimum number of owners in Syskit Point. Do we need to do it again for our workspace review?
No. As I mentioned, so workspace review will use settings defined in the minimum owners policy for that workspaces. So you don't need to do that again.
Okay, great. And then we have one regarding emails. Can I customize the email that you showed that is sent to the workspace owner?
Yeah, you can customize the email. So the process of customizing email is actually the same as in Access Review. You need to define and customize your templates. Yeah.
All right. We just got one more. So regarding the ownership of Workspace, with SharePoint sites, are the site collection admins the owners in this case? And when dealing with the min and max number of owners policies for SharePoint sites, is it referring to the site collection admins?
Tough questions. I will need to check that. I would need to check that later, and we can answer.
We will get back to you with this one. If you think this one is tough, I'm really struggling whether to read the next one or not. But the next one is, how would we know we're ready to roll out Copilot? I think this deserves a separate email because obviously it's something we are all kind of curious about. But I think it will take us more than this few minutes that we have left to answer you that. So we will get back on that one. There is also one that is regarding the removal in January 2027 or replacing this with Workspace Review. Will there be a license cost increase? We will definitely give that a question to the sales, so that team will reach out to you. Let me see, next one. Is there a report that can show you whether a theme workspace is deleted but the SharePoint site remains? I think this is maybe beyond the scope of what we've seen today, but maybe we can tackle that one for the end. So the user also mentioned that he is discovering several of these by attempting to modify the owners. You killed Mario. He doesn't even know what to answer there.
I'm not sure what to say. Sorry.
Okay, so the questions that arrived in the last 3 minutes are really tough ones. So I understand the problem. To be honest, it is definitely not in the scope of Workspace Review, and we do not have a report that can show you this situation. You can only do it manually at this point, if I understood your problem correctly. But yeah, we can definitely get back to you with more details. All right, I think I went through all of the questions. Again, if I'm sorry if I missed anything or skipped you or we didn't give you enough details, but definitely we will reach out to all of you. And again, thank you for all of you who shared your comments on regarding that you liked what you saw today, that you think it's a big improvement. We are happy to hear that. And as I said in the beginning, this is just a beginning, so we will continue to improve this and to listen to you. If you have any other question, any comments, anything that pops into your head, just feel free to reach out to us, to contact us. We are always looking forward to hearing your thoughts. And that brings us to the end of today's webinar. Thank you all again for showing up. We will send out the recording. And yeah, Mario, any final words from you?
No,
you're
thank
done.
you everyone
This
for coming.
session was too much. Thank you. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.